Okay, this is Naosha back again, talking about my life.
Continuing from the last video, part 2, about what was it like being taken away from your family when Child Protective Services came. It's pretty emotional and heart-wrenching.
Sorry about the outburst before. But after the police came in with our caseworkers and took us away from our house, well, my mom was in the hospital giving birth to my last little brother, and my dad was in jail for whatever reason. I don't even know why he was in jail at the time, but he was there for about a year that year. After they took us away, what they do is they take you to the hospital to be evaluated, to let anybody know if there was any type of physical abuse going on in the house. And the thing that stands out in my mind, and I don't know why it's so significant to me, but I just really want to talk about it, is because my mom and dad never, ever, ever, ever physically abused us, ever. I'm aware now that as an adult that neglect is a form of abuse. I know this. I know not feeding your children is a form of abuse. But the way I see it, my parents were sick because no matter how this may come off, I love them to death. I would never, ever trade them or any of my experiences for anything else because it made me who I am. And I love who I am now. It took me a long, hard road, but I love who I am. But back to the hospital visit. A couple of days before DYFS took us away, there was an incident. We had a space heater in the basement. One of the ones that looked like white radiator. I know a lot of you poor people out there know what I'm talking about. If you ever had to have a space heater, the ones with the orange knob that you turn, it was hot. And frequently, my sister and brother were little. They used to run around a lot with no clothes on. My sister tripped over the cord to the space heater, and the heater fell against her back. So all you seen was little lines of burns on her back. I was the one who actually seen this happen. I ran over, took the heater off before it was any, it was just basically welts. It wasn't serious 3rd or 2nd degree burns or anything second or 1st degree burns or anything like that. But once they evaluated us after DYFS took us away and took us to the hospital to be evaluated, of course, they made us strip. They looked at us. I never felt so much more like a zoo animal in my life, to tell you the truth. It was without love, without caring. It was cold. They talked about me in front of my face as if I didn't exist. They were telling the other doctors, look how frail she is. I didn't even know what that word meant until years after I heard it. But, that's stuff like that keeps playing in your mind. Frail and neglected. Signs of abuse on a kid's back. I fought tooth and nail to prove to them that a space heater fell on my sister's back and my mom wasn't beating her. And I'm the one as a 8 or 9-year-old telling them, look at the mark, because they're too consistent. They
were trying to say she was beaten?
Yes, they were trying to say my mom was beating my sister's back she was hitting a 1-year-old kid. No way. No way. It's funny how these services are supposed to be in place to help the kids, but I didn't feel helped at all. I just felt like, I guess that's how an animal feels when you want to take it to the zoo. You don't know why you're going. They say it's for a better life because it's dangerous, but I guess it's in the eyes of the beholder. I didn't want to be away from my parents. I loved them and I knew that they loved me. How they convinced me of that, I will never ever know, because drugs is like a sea that you drown in. How could you feel your mother's love from underneath the deepest trench in the ocean? But I felt it. She made me feel it. And I knew she loved me, and I kind of sensed the fact that her problem now was kind of out of her control. And basically, about that night, that's pretty much all I can remember. Oh, the last thing I do want to mention is the fact, what did bother me, and it still kind of bothers me, is the fact that they separated us. Me being more responsible for my sister and brother than my parents were at the time made me feel like their mom. They took my kids away. They moved my kids.
Subscribe.
And if you want to subscribe, please look at my YouTube account. And I'm open to feedback. If you want to tell me to keep going or just keep my day job again, please let me know.